Alright, so what's going on, guys? My name's Chopper, and welcome back everybody to another video on the channel. Today what I want to discuss are the 5 biggest pro tips that I can tell you guys for this game that are instantly going to improve your gameplay if you do apply these. Now, a lot of these are going to be kind of more advanced tips that you might not have thought about doing before, but I promise that if you're able to master these and kind of polish your skills in them, your KD and your overall performance, your wins are going to go up drastically. Before we get into that though, I have something amazing to announce for you guys. You know that we've been pushing for 150,000 subscribers, and I told you there was something big coming with it. Well, it is finally here, and I'm happy to announce that my official first ever merch is available right now for a limited time. So if you guys want to go and check out like a t-shirt or a hoodie that I'm putting up, they look really nice, and I highly encourage you guys just go and check the link, and if you like what you see, consider picking one up. And not to mention, if you end up enjoying this video, if you learn anything from it, a like rating would be amazing. And also make sure you are subscribed if you are brand new to the channel, if you haven't done already. We have some more really cool stuff coming up for 200,000, which is the next goal that we're setting. So every little sub does help. And without all being said, let's jump into these 5 pro tips that will make you better at the game. So ladies and gentlemen, coming in at a number 5 spot is a tip that involves a lot, but it's just generally to make your life easier in this game, that you can do important actions quicker. So more specifically, what I'm talking about are 3 very important settings that I think every player should have on. The first one being, you need to be able to hold to aim. Now, the default in PUBG is that if you're playing on PC, when you right click, you aim down the sights. You click it once and then you click it again to sort of un-ADS. Now, I recommend that you put this on hold because it allows you to engage in fights and disengage so much quicker that will save your life in many scenarios. Now, the second setting isn't one that's going to make your gameplay faster, but it's very important for your own awareness in the game. But this is going to be HRTF. It's in the sound settings, and I believe it's on all platforms. Now, I'm going to recommend that you turn this off. It's on by default when you install PUBG, but you should take it off because what this essentially does is make gunfire louder around you in the environment, so it's easier to detect. However, it kind of widens the sound in your ears so that you don't really know where the shot is coming from. It's harder to detect exactly where somebody is firing. But if you turn this off, you'll notice that these shots are a bit quieter, but you can kind of pinpoint them a lot easier. And the third setting I'm going to recommend you do in this tip is set hotkeys for very important and common actions. So for instance, your first aid kits, your boosts, and probably your throwables. Those are the top 3 that I would say that I would have either on a quick button you can hit or a quick key. Now, me personally, I have my first aids on my top mouse button, and then my boosts on my bottom mouse button, and then I have my throwables on G. So they're all really easy to reach in any given scenario. Also, I think it goes without saying that your leaning and peek hotkeys are also pretty important. I leave those as the default and I keep them on hold as well, but those I would recommend you take advantage of them too. Now, coming in at the number 4 spot is something that you should practice as much as you possibly can, and a lot of people tell me that this is the number 1 tip that helped them improve their gameplay in PUBG, and I don't doubt it because this helped me out a lot as well when I just put a lot of time into mastering this skill. But getting used to single tapping with a variety of weapons is never a bad thing. I recommend that you either just jump into a game. If you have custom games, that's awesome if you can go in by yourself. If not, go into a regular public match and just go somewhere else where nobody is, scavenge up a lot of weapons, and practice single tapping and controlling it on a certain wall. And the reason why you want to do this is build muscle memory for any kind of weapon that you're going to come across and have to use for single tap. So maybe things like a VSS or an SK or an M4 or an M16, you know, whatever it might be. I recommend that you go in and try this. And the kind of key to single tapping, especially on PC, there's also different techniques for every other platform, but the rule of thumb is that you want to tap in a singular motion and pull down in a constant motion as well. Like, have them in synchrony. And if you practice doing that with each kind of weapon that has its own unique recoil pattern and you get used to them, you'll find that you can be an absolute monster. Every gun's rate of fire and the rate that you have to pull down is going to be slightly different, so that's why you do need practice with it. But in essence, I just recommend that you go in and do something like this. Basically something like that, and the more time you put into doing that with a variety of weapons, you can even do a full auto spraying just to see how you can control each one, but the more time you put into this overall, the more you're going to get out of it, and you'll be more comfortable playing with it on the actual battlefield. So it's a huge help, and I highly recommend whatever platform, whatever you play on, go and try this as much as you possibly can. But getting away from that now, and coming in today at our number 3 spot are going to be looting exercises, and this might be another one of those really important things that you should perfect for your own platform that you plan, whether it's PC, Xbox, mobile, whatever. They all have different systems for looting, but if you're able to do this as quickly and efficiently as possible, you're going to drastically improve your gameplay. A lot of people die while looting, and there's reasons for that. I'd say there's typically two kinds of people that die while looting very often, and the first one is going to be somebody that just jumps into the loot and grabs a couple of things, right? Doesn't even go in with a specific plan, just grabs whatever they see and then takes off with it. Now, this can be bad because you can miss a very important piece of equipment or armor or bullets that you really need for the rest of the game, and you just overpass it. Or the other kind of looting person spends way too much time on the box itself and meticulously picks out every single item and every single attachment that they need and really takes their time doing it. Now, luckily, though, there's a lot of shortcuts that will significantly improve your looting time and also improve what kind of items you come out with. Now, the way that I recommend you start is by prioritizing what you need to take. Obviously, if you have a deficit in like meds or ammo, that's what you should go for first. But if you have, I guess, decent amount of everything, when you go to loot somebody, you should prioritize like this. Go meds and boosters first, and then go down to armor, because if you're able to pick up a piece of a better helmet or a vest or even a pan, this can save your life while looting and can buy you more time. So make that your second priority. Your third one is to get bullets, of course, for whatever you need, and then finally just fill up on attachments, and that's when you kind of meticulously can go through them and pick out exactly, cherry pick what you want. Another really nice shortcut is that if you have a weapon that's fully attached out and you want to swap weapons but keep those same attachments, you can shift alt and left click on it, and then it will drop all the attachments, put them in your inventory, and you can swap out the weapons super quickly and throw the rest of them back on. It's something that I recommend you practice, and looting exercises are really one of those things where you just need to get your hands dirty and do it. And I'll also say, try not to prone while looting if all possible, because if you come out of a fight, you'll be alerting other people to your position, and if they see the box and they see you proning, you're pretty much goner. So I would recommend that either stay up while looting or just get out of there as quickly as you can. Now, coming in at a number 2 spot today is catering your setup towards your own preferred playstyle, rather than letting your setup dictate your playstyle. So a lot of people will go into PUBG with the mentality of looting and just kind of saying, whatever I get is going to dictate how I'm going to end up playing this match. And while that's kind of unavoidable to a certain extent, I always push for playing as the preferred playstyle that you always like to play. Whether it's aggressive, that's the way that you tend to do the best, or if you like to kind of play it a little bit more conservatively and camp it out until the very end. Whatever playstyle brings you the most joy while you're playing this game is something that you should always push for, and build your setup around that. If you don't have the preferred weapons that you want to have, then either try to go and get them or set your attachments up to replicate as close as you can get to that experience. So for instance, I'm not really that big on the M16. It just doesn't fit into my preferred playstyle, but if I'm stuck with it and I have to play it, what I'm going to do is try my best to throw on maybe like a red dot, and extended, and a comp to make it as close to the M4, the AK as possible, so I can actually go and play aggressive as my preferred playstyle. And vice versa, if you like to play a little bit more conservatively and slowly, and you want something like an M16, but you're stuck with an M4, consider putting on like a 4x, a comp, and a vertical grip. That's going to give you the best results for single tapping, just like the M16 would. It's little things like that that you can change to always play the way you want to, regardless of the loot you get for the most part. And it's something that has really changed the way that I play the game personally, and I've heard a lot of accounts saying that they've done that as well. But finally, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, coming in today at our number 1 spot of the best pro tip that I can give you if you really want to bring your gameplay to the next level. And I don't recommend this for everybody, I'm going to say that right now. This is only if you really feel like you're up to the challenge, if you feel like you're ready and advanced enough. But jump shotting and drop shotting is now becoming a fad in PUBG, and something that I've been kind of toying around with. More so the jump shotting than anything, but you can actually end up doing both. Now, if you've played games like Call of Duty or anything like that before, it works way differently. It's very viable in games like that and easy to do. However, in PUBG, you have to realize the certain risks that come with doing each of them. When you jump shot, your spray deviation is going to go up by, I don't know, around 60%, making it mad hard to hit shots at anything or outside of like 20 meters. So when it's done right, however, it is extremely effective and almost impossible to counter from your opponent. There's almost no way around it. And PlayerUnknown himself, or Brendan Green, has actually addressed jump shotting in an interview, and he basically said that this game is hard enough to shoot people as is, so if you can kill people while you're jumping and all of these sacrifices that come with that, then that's probably the sign of a pretty good player. So, and I agree with that philosophy. I like that. The same does apply for drop shotting, but the only thing that I'm going to tell you to do this on is like hills. If you have to fight an uphill battle and your gun is going to jerk around a little bit while you're in the process of laying down, but it's effective when done right as well. That's because their gun will naturally be kicking upwards while your own body, their target, will be going straight down. So it's a complete opposite. It's a good way to throw people off. I don't recommend doing it always, but it's a very situational kind of thing, as is jump shotting. But anyways, guys, I think that is going to be the video for today. The 5 biggest things that I could tell you, these pieces of advice that are very advanced that will help you get much better at this game. And I really hope that if you're able to do these, it does improve your gameplay. But thank you so much for watching the video, guys. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed it at all, if you learned something from it, be sure to leave a thumbs up, leave your like rating. It does help me out a lot. Subscribe also if you are brand new to this channel, and before you go, don't forget to click that link in the description and go and check out the merch. It's only going to be available for a very limited time, so if you're on the fence about picking up a shirt or a hoodie or something, I highly advise it. But anyways, guys, thank you once again so much, and I will see you all on the next live stream or the next video. Take it easy, guys, and peace out.